So my name's Sarah Henry. I'm a certified lifestyle medicine coach and the owner of my own practice, Sarah Henry Holistic Wellness Coaching. So on top of being a lifestyle medicine coach, I'm also a meditative yoga instructor. So I'm trained to teach yin and restorative yoga. I knew I really wanted to work with people, but I sort of wanted to do it all. I wanted to help with diet. I wanted to help with exercise. I wanted to help with all the health related things. I mean, and that was my background. I was trained to do all of that, but I didn't really have a niche. And on top of that, I'm a bit of a private person and I was sort of uncomfortable putting myself out there. So I wasn't really putting myself out there on social media. I was putting together a website, but I wasn't really telling my own personal story or my own journey. People didn't really get what I did. But the truth of the matter was, I didn't even really know who specifically I wanted to help. I really believed in what I was doing or trying to do, but it was scary because, I needed to make a living. Denver's an expensive place to live. And it was tough. And I had a lot of faith, but at the same time, it felt soul crushing at times because I was like, how in the world am I going to make this work? So I really think that was my biggest struggle, just saying, okay, I want to do this, but how? How am I going to make this work? And how am I going to make a living doing what I love? I started reapplying for jobs, which was crazy to me because it was like, okay, I quit a job where I had benefits and, I climbed the ladder, and I had a good job, but I wasn't happy, right? So I quit and then I started over again. I went back to school. I earned my master's in psych. I became a certified health and wellness coach. And then here I am looking at part-time jobs at Target because I was so afraid that I wouldn't be able to make it all work. I tried to do a few other things too. I looked at what other people were doing, but a lot of times that felt really daunting. I would get on Instagram and I would see these coaches who were like crushing it or supposedly crushing it. And that felt daunting too, because I was like, okay, what are they doing that I'm not doing? How can I make this work? Your focus is on digital businesses, being online. And I remember coming to you and being like, I want to get myself out there, but I don't necessarily want to use social media. And so I already had these hangups. I think that was really the primary hangup with working with you. Otherwise, I was like, I had been listening to your podcast, I read your book. I was like, I think that Amanda can really help me, but how can we do it in a way that's authentic to me, that doesn't make me feel like I'm doing something that's almost disingenuous, if that makes sense. You encouraged me to do a lot of market research where I was interviewing women with depression. So I had this long, arduous journey. When I went through all of that, I knew what worked for me and what didn't, but the real goal was trying to figure out what works for women in general. I was asking women, what do you do when you're depressed? What does that feel like? Define depression for me. And where or who do you turn to when you're depressed? And a lot of the women were saying to me, I would say like over 90% said that when they're depressed, they tend to sequester themselves away. They don't want to reach out for help. In fact, they want to be alone. They want to kind of get through it on their own. It really hit me. And I was just like, oh man, what am I doing here? I'm approaching this the wrong way. I'm marketing myself and saying, hey, come to me if you'd like to talk about your issues with depression and anxiety. And they don't want to, right? We figured that out. So I sort of backpedaled and I started thinking about one of the things that you always told me to do, look to what's easy and fun. And for me, what's easy and fun, and number one thing that gets me out of a funk is practicing yoga. I'll drop everything and practice yoga when I'm feeling blue. So I went through a certification program and became certified in yin and restorative. I'm loving it. I feel like I found my mojo. And then, of course, naturally, I just feel like this magnet where I'm finding my niche. I'm finding my people, the people that kind of fit in that niche, the people that are suffering through those issues. They come to my classes. And I think the biggest joy for me is watching people walk out of my class after an hour, just looking so relaxed, just like puddles of mush. Whoa. It's just so amazing. Yeah, back to my money hangups, I feel that, when you're more in alignment and you just sort of trust the process, you can let go. You're not constantly trying to control your outcome. You're not constantly trying to control your environment. And then I think you come off as a more authentic, connected person. I'm not a millionaire, but I feel a lot more comfortable than I did before. And that's a beautiful thing. And, I can sleep at night. And that was a big hang up for me that I feel has subsided in a lot of ways. I would say absolutely do it. I feel that working with you is totally and completely worth the investment. It was rewarding, but it wasn't always comfortable. But because of that, I was able to change and grow and develop this business that I love.